Kindness is one of the most beautiful qualities a human being can possess. It reflects empathy, humility, and grace. But like any virtue, when taken to an extreme without discernment, kindness can become dangerous, not just to others, but to yourself. What begins as a strength can quietly become a weakness when it is offered to everyone at all times, without wisdom, boundaries, or understanding. That's when kindness turns from compassion into self-destruction. You see, many people are raised with the idea that being kind is always the right thing to do. And in many situations, it is. But we forget that not every person deserves the same access to our hearts, our time, our help, or our energy. Some people are drawn to kind-hearted individuals, not because they value their goodness, but because they see an opportunity to exploit it. They recognize that the kind person is unlikely to say no, to push back, or to protect themselves. And slowly, what looks like kindness turns into emotional exhaustion, mental confusion, and spiritual damage. When you continue to pour into people who never pour back into you, you begin to run dry. When you keep showing up for those who never show up for you, your soul begins to wear thin. When you allow manipulation in the name of keeping peace, you invite chaos into your spirit, and it happens subtly. You say yes one too many times. You give someone the benefit of the doubt, long after they've proven they don't deserve it. You forgive again and again without repentance. You keep smiling when you want to cry. You keep giving when you feel broken. And somewhere along the way, you lose yourself, not out of malice, but out of misguided kindness. We must understand that kindness without discernment is not kindness at all. It's a lack of self-respect. True kindness is rooted in love, and love always tells the truth. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is to walk away. Sometimes love looks like silence. Sometimes mercy looks like boundaries. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give to others is the strength of your no. If you allow people to take and take from you without limit, you are not helping them. You are enabling them. You are reinforcing their selfishness, their irresponsibility, their emotional immaturity. You may be sparing them discomfort in the moment, but in the long term, you are delaying their growth. There's a difference between kindness and enabling. One empowers, the other disables. And many people, in their sincere desire to do good, become enablers without realizing it. There is also a spiritual danger in indiscriminate kindness. When we allow our hearts to be open to everyone, we risk becoming entangled with people who carry darkness, who bring with them confusion, manipulation, or destruction. These individuals are not just unhealthy, they are dangerous to your purpose. They speak in ways that distort your clarity. They influence you toward compromise. They drain your energy until you are too weak to pursue what you were created for. And yet, because they appear wounded or needy, you hesitate to draw the line. But even wolves can cry. Even those who bring harm may speak with soft voices. That is why discernment is essential. You were not meant to save everyone. You were not meant to be everything to everyone. You are not the answer to every need or the solution to every problem. That role belongs to a higher power, not to you. Your responsibility is not to make yourself endlessly available, but to live wisely, courageously, and with clarity. And that includes knowing when to step away. The world will try to guilt you into being kind at all times, in all ways, to all people. But that is not wisdom. That is not balance. That is not love. Sometimes the most powerful act of love you can show toward yourself and others is to say, enough. Enough of being used. Enough of being drained. Enough of carrying people who have no intention of walking on their own. This is not bitterness. This is not coldness. This is maturity. This is wisdom. This is choosing health over dysfunction, purpose over chaos, and truth over illusion. Kindness is still your strength, but now it is guided by wisdom. And when kindness is offered through discernment, it no longer destroys. It heals. It transforms. It protects what is good and repels what is not. So stop being kind to everyone. Be kind to the right people at the right time for the right reasons. Let your heart be soft, but your mind be sharp, because a kind soul with no boundaries is not noble. It is vulnerable to destruction. But a kind soul that has learned to protect itself can become a light to the world. We often associate compassion and kindness with selflessness, and we're told that giving of ourselves without holding back is the highest form of goodness. But there is a critical truth that many fail to understand until after they've been broken, used, or emotionally depleted. True compassion is not endless sacrifice, and real kindness is not the absence of boundaries. In fact, boundaries are a form of moral strength. They are not a sign of coldness, but of wisdom. And without them, even our purest intentions can become harmful to ourselves and even to those we are trying to help. The misconception that being kind means saying yes to everyone is one of the most dangerous lies a good-hearted person can believe. It teaches you to suppress your needs for the sake of others. It pressures you to tolerate mistreatment in the name of keeping peace. It convinces you that drawing lines or walking away is cruel, selfish, or even sinful. But this idea couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that boundaries are not a rejection of love. They are the framework in which healthy love is able to grow. People often think that kindness means you must always be available, always forgiving, always flexible, always accommodating. But when you operate like that, you quickly discover that not everyone who receives your kindness appreciates it. Some take advantage of it. Some grow dependent on it and never take responsibility for themselves. Others grow to expect it as a right rather than receive it as a gift. And if you're not careful, your kindness becomes a license for others to drain you emotionally, manipulate you relationally, and disrupt your peace spiritually. This is where boundaries come in. A boundary says, I will love you, but I will not let you harm me. It says, I can help you, but I will not carry what is your responsibility to carry. It says, I can forgive you, but I do not have to continue allowing access to my life if you choose to hurt me. This is not being unkind. This is being wise. This is protecting the space in your life where peace, truth, and purpose are meant to grow. Because if that space is constantly invaded by chaos, guilt, or abuse, even the strongest heart will begin to wither. Setting boundaries does not mean you stop loving people. It means you start loving in a healthy, responsible, and sustainable way. You begin to realize that not all pain is noble. Not all suffering is sanctified. If someone continuously brings drama, lies, or disrespect into your life, and you keep allowing it, that's not kindness. It's enabling. And enabling someone else's dysfunction doesn't heal them. And it certainly doesn't heal you. One of the most important reasons for boundaries is that they help you stay true to your purpose. When you allow anyone and everyone unlimited access to your time, energy, and attention, you become scattered, unfocused, and reactive. You spend your days putting out fires that other people started instead of walking the path you were meant to walk. And slowly, you begin to lose sight of who you are and why you're here. Boundaries help protect the mission you've been given. They create the space you need to reflect, grow, and serve with clarity and strength. Some people will not understand your boundaries. Some will be offended by them. That's because they benefited from your lack of them. But the people who truly love you, the ones who are healthy, respectful, and sincere, will honor your boundaries. They will not demand more than you can give. They will not manipulate your compassion. They will not expect you to sacrifice your well-being just to keep them comfortable. Healthy people are drawn to healthy boundaries. We must also understand that boundaries are not walls built out of fear. They are gates built with wisdom. They are not meant to keep everyone out, but to decide who belongs where and how much access they should be given. Even the most beautiful garden needs a fence, not to block the sunlight, but to keep the weeds from overtaking what's growing. So if you are a kind-hearted person who has been wounded, worn out, or walked over, know this: drawing boundaries is not a betrayal of who you are. It is a protection of who you were always meant to be. Your kindness was never meant to be a currency for acceptance. It was never meant to be a trap for guilt. Your kindness, when paired with wisdom and strength, is a force that can heal the world. But first, it must protect the world within you. It is time we stop confusing kindness with weakness. It is time we recognize that saying no can be just as loving as saying yes. And it is time we understand that boundaries do not harden your heart. They guard it. Because a guarded heart is not a closed heart. It is a strong heart. And only with strength can true kindness flourish. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us no longer carry the false burden that being kind means being available to everyone at all times. Let us no longer believe that love requires losing ourselves in the process. Kindness without boundaries is not holiness. It is harm dressed in politeness. And you were not created to be broken in the name of doing good. There is a strength in saying, this far and no further. There is wisdom in walking away when peace is threatened. There is love, not just for others, but for yourself, in knowing when to guard your heart. May your kindness be rooted in truth. May your compassion be led by discernment. And may your love never forget to include you. Thank you